and welcome back to Relationships Wednesday. This is the segment Ask Pastor Chris. We always have a great time just doing Mandate with the men retake when the ladies come in and they talk to us. They give us their own perspective to what the men have been sharing on Mandate. And then the Style My Wife, Style My Hobby with Crystal, that's very transformational, and couples get to talk, people asking for their spouses to be styled. But I always look forward to this, doing the Ask Pastor Chris, especially because we are going out into the colleges, we're going out to the institutions, to the community, to get the young people, to talk to them over there, answer their questions, and hear their views about various things concerning life. And we are here at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, KIMC. How is everybody doing today? Yeah. We all right? Yeah, and I'm here with the students, and we're going to have this session right here again. Them asking me all the kind of questions that they do have, so that I may bring in the answers to the questions that the young people have. I know that the questions that they will ask connect to the people back at home, all the young people who are out there, even those who are no longer young in age but young at heart, could connect to the questions that these young people are going to ask. So we're looking forward to having a very great show right over here. You want to be a part of it? Send us a message on email. Write us on lifeandstyle@standardmedia.co.ke. Let us get to know that you want us to come and visit either your school, your institution, your church, your community. Also, you could write us on 22840 text message number, and you could reach us on our social media platforms at KTN Life_Style. That's for Twitter and Instagram, and KTN Life and Style for Facebook. I want to get the questions from the young people who are here, because I've been talking a lot, and I want to know who has a very burning question right here, right now. To start with, I will let the lady go first.
Does religion have to do with relationships? Like, if I'm a Christian, can I really go date a Christian, or can I date any other religion?
Well, religion has a place that it plays when it comes to relationships, and that is because religion is about beliefs. So two people having strong beliefs about something, they will either have to compromise their beliefs to accommodate each other, or one person has to move into the other person's religion, or somewhere along the line they might just find it difficult. So it is a factor. It is a factor because it deals with beliefs, foundations, cause, and you can't just ignore that. It's something that either they will have to compromise, or somebody is going to shift, or it just will not work. Somewhere along the line is going to cause trouble.
Thank you.
People putting a false blame on social media for the lack of communication in their relationships?
Well, I think if I understand your question is that people don't communicate to themselves very well, and
they're blaming social media for that.
For them not
communicating to each other.
By communicating, you mean not seeing each other?
No, not talking to each other. Like, your husband comes back home, or your boyfriend comes back home, and he's not talking to you. He's maybe on phone.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's not so much that it is false. It could be true, but then the deeper issue will not be the social media. The deeper issue is usually the two people who are in the relationship, either the spouses or the people relating. They have lost something between them that makes one of them or both of them begin to find alternative places of either joy or safety or security or purpose. So it might just be as simple as somebody going to watch football and prefers to spend more time with the friends. It is because he doesn't feel that when he's home, he is understood, appreciated. He doesn't feel like home is home. It could be as simple as her just going and spending time with the ladies that she has in their chama groups, So social media is just one of those things. There's usually a deeper issue to that. So that those are just places that people escape. And whenever that happens, and people have to get to the place where they begin to talk to each other, they begin to address what is it that is making their communication die. Is it offense? Because sometimes it's offense. Is it neglect? Sometimes people have neglected each other so well, so long. Maybe somebody's not paying attention to the other person, so one person stops talking or the other one is not listening. It could be the issues, the pressures of life that have come in, so everybody is so busy with their day-to-day today that they don't even realize they're not paying attention to each other, and the longer that takes, the harder it becomes to bridge the gap. So there will always be so many other issues that are to play. The only solution then is for them to have those moments where there is no phone allowed, there is no TV on, there is nobody else, and they begin to spend time with each other so that they can build the reconnection again.
For example, you're deep in love with a partner, then people start discriminating your relationship. Then one of the partner steps out of the relationship.
I need to understand your question. You're in this relationship,
yes,
with a lady.
Yeah.
Then people are they interfering or what?
Yeah, they're interfering with their.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
you decide to take a step. One of the partners moves out of the relationship. Then you choose another partner. Is it okay?
I don't know whether to say a yes or no to that question, whether it is okay or something. But you know, when you get into a relationship, you're the one who knows why you're getting into a relationship. When somebody has broken up a relationship with you, there is nothing that holds you to the relationship with them, if they have made up their mind to leave. But then again, the question would be, how soon do you move on? Somebody breaks up with you today, I don't expect you next week to have somebody else in your life, if you really were committed to the other one. Because it takes time for hearts to heal, even for hearts to disconnect. So the probability is that you will move on into the next thing, but you're carrying the last person into the new relationship. So you're already three of you in that relationship without you knowing. So if somebody has broken up with you, it's whether it is because of interference of other people or not, whatever the reason may be, then you are free to move on. But then you've got to give yourself the time for you to recollect yourself before you move on, so that you're not rebounding.
While dating, how often should I meet up with my partner?
While dating, well, it is good to start slow, because the initial stages, you're just getting to know this person, you're just getting to know their likes, their dislikes. You may have said yes to a relationship, but in terms of reality, you may not have gotten in really into the place of commitment. It's a place you grow into. You may start with somebody out today, you know, they say, I would like you to be my girlfriend, and then you say yes to it. But the initial stages, you're not very committed to that as you would when you keep on growing, as you trust the person and learn them. So I will always say, just start slow. Start slow, give yourself time. Think about whether you want to be in there. Think about the decision that you're making. So that as you keep on growing, then you're allowing yourself the space to build intensity. Because intensity cannot be sustained for too long. So if you're going to have a relationship like for 5 years, and by the first day that you meet, you want to meet after every 2 hours, you'll get tired somewhere along the line. So always look at it as a marathon. How far do you want to go? Then space it well. Not too long apart, not too much around each other. Because you also still have to grow as an individual, apart from each other. You cannot grow a relationship if the individuals in the relationship are not growing.
Being a student that I am, I have this guy in my class hitting on me. So my question is, do you think this kind of a relationship will work, being said that we are in the same class?
You're in the same class with somebody?
Yeah.
Hitting on you?
Yeah.
So do I think it will work?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a matter of probability. But you know, being in the same class is not a fact. Is not a hindrance to a relationship working. There are people who have ended up married. They were high school classmates or something. It's all about where you two people want to see yourselves, both as individuals and then corporately in the future. If those two merge, then it is possible to work. If you share aspirations, if you share goals, if you share values, if you share purposes, if you share commitments, it is possible to work. If you don't share that, even if they're in another school somewhere down the Sahara, it really not work. So that's what you need to look at. Being in the same class is not a problem. Because when people meet for relationships, they meet various places. Some people meet because they are neighbors. Some people meet because they go to the same church. Some people meet because they use the same matatu. Some people meet because they have the same friends. So you could meet in any way, and class could be one of them.
In case I have a common relation with people outside my relationship, in that I'm very friendly, very accommodative.
Get back to that. What do you mean a common relationship with the people?
As in, I tend to socialize a lot with people. Yes, and I'm very friendly, very open to having open discussions with my friends. Will it in any way hinder or damage my relationship with another lady, in that may it be a reason for her to feel insecure?
Well, it depends. Number one, it depends on who is in that your space that you call your friends that you socialize with. She would not need to be threatened if the people you're socializing with are just boys. But she would still feel left out if, even if it were men, you're spending more time with them than with her. So the whole thing is a matter of balance. If it is ladies, when you commit to another lady, don't socialize too much with other ladies. Just keep it safe. There's even no need to go there. Don't socialize too much. Be friends with them, talk with them a little bit, but for the respect of the person that you have, you've got to have some boundaries. There cannot be a relationship where there are no boundaries. If it is your men, they also need to understand that there are times that you've got to spend with this lady, so that they cannot take up all your time. It cannot be that when you want to have a date, you know, men used to complain before that if you want to have a date with a lady, she's coming with her girls. That's the same thing she would feel if she's coming into your space and you always have your men, so you can't talk. Especially when your relationship begins to have issues that need to be talked about, and there's always a crowd around you, there will be no two of you. So there has got to be that space that is left to the two of you. Just ensure that there is balance, and ensure that the person in your life becomes your priority.
If, for example, a lady is in a relationship, then whenever they meet with her guy, the guy gives her many promises, tells her how he loves her. Then if the lady makes a simple mistake, like let's say the guy bought her a present, and maybe the lady misplaced the present, the guy just tells her that I'll break up with you because of that. Is that really love? Then if, for example, he tells me, in that case, the guy tells the lady that I'll break up with you, how is the lady supposed to react?
There is no relationship that is built on threats, intimidation, manipulation, or coercion. When those ones come in, there's a problem with the relationship. The foundations are cracked. Every relationship is supposed to be built on the positives, not the negatives. And the positives are motivation and inspiration. So if there is always the threat that I'm going to break out, the relationship will suffer. That's not a safe place to be. Whenever there is an issue, if somebody has made a mistake, if there's an issue, if people have acted out of character or they have hurt the other people, what needs to be done is that issue needs to be addressed as an issue. It should not be a blanket thing that somebody comes up with and then there's generalization. It should be, if you were late, I will say you were late, and then we deal with the issue of lateness. If it is something that you lost, we talk about that thing that you lost, and I did not feel good that you lost it because it meant a lot to me, and then we go past it. So every issue also that is raised should be very objective. It's supposed to be raised with the view to build the relationship, not to break it. So anytime there is these kind of threats and people are trying to use force, manipulation, control, that's a dangerous place to be.
If you have met somebody in the social media, maybe WhatsApp or Facebook or Twitter, and then you're fond of communicating, can it really work to end up to be a very serious relationship?
Well, there are those people who say that, you know, I'm old school, I'm old school, so I love face to face. But there are those people who say that they have done that. The thing is that you could meet anywhere. Like I answered the question about, you know, the classroom. You could meet anywhere. But then you've got to take it farther from that place. You've got to move from the social media now to real life, because you will not be relating via your phones or via your tablets. So you got to move from that place to get to know the person. You got to watch out for their body language. There's those things that you can only get to know about a person when you're in their space. You get to see their reaction. You get to see whether you get to know their temperaments. That you will mostly pick up when you have a one-on-one with somebody. So you could have met on Facebook or anywhere, but then don't keep the relationship there. If you want to see whether you can have a relationship, pull them out of where they're hiding on social media or something. See whether the face is as it looks on the social media. See whether it is the person that you would want to have. Get to know whether they've got the kind of character that you're attracted to, or they're going to be very annoying to you, or you will be annoying to them. So pull them out of there. Have face-to-face. Begin to meet whenever you can, so that you make good judgment based on proper decision.
Another, because a man is a man. This beautiful lady here is in school or is in class, and she realizes that somebody in the class or classmate is just looking at him every time outside, approaching her. Now that and this man, of course, he has that fear, that approach. He can't approach this lady who is supposed to start that relationship, because it is not normal.
Okay. You know what? The thing you're raising, this man is looking at this lady.
Yeah.
For this man to be staring at this lady over and over, it means this man is attracted to the lady.
Yeah.
So this man is the one who has the burden to go out and say, look, I find myself keep on looking at you, and I'm thinking about you a lot. It's the man, because he's the one who is interested. The lady has not shown interest unless the lady is also looking too much.
Yeah.
So you don't expect when you're walking past a shop and you see this mannequin over there with putting on a suit, you don't expect it to walk out and talk to you. You're the one who saw it at the window and admired it, so you walk into the shop. So if as a man you see a lady who you're attracted to, walk into the shop. You never know. It might not cost as much as you think it will cost.
You had a guy, and then you broke up because you felt like he was cheating on you. Then it's like he feels like he wants to come back to your life, but he fears, and he uses a friend to tell you. But you love the person, but you feel like no, you can't go back to him.
There are two things that I want to bring out from your question. One is, your question is a presumption, like you feel that the guy cheated. So where there has been no evidence, there should not be judgment.
Actually, it's not like you feel, but you know that he cheated because the communication just ended. We used to communicate.
Well,
then
communication can end for various reasons. Communication can end for various reasons. And what I'm trying to bring out of your mind, to get out of your mind, is you should not assume that every time there's a problem in your relationship, it's because there's somebody else. It could just be between the two of you. It could also just be the person. Sometimes they're dealing with their own things and they don't know how to deal with them, so their easiest ways to run. One of the easiest things for men to do when they are having their issues is to run. That's one of the easiest things for them to do when they're having their own issues. Sometimes they don't know how to express that. So never always think that if this person is not talking to me, he's talking to somebody else. He could be going through a rough time. He could be having his own fears. He could be feeling that you are too good for him. It could be issues of low self-esteem. He's losing his confidence. He's thinking you're too perfect for him. He's got all these struggles that he has. And so the more he spends time around you, the more his inadequacies keep on coming out. And he's just feeling, I cannot sustain this. It will not last because I don't match up. So it could be for any reason. The thing you need to do is to find out, why did you stop communicating? Because that is going to settle the issue. It's going to bring closure. So if he's used a friend, whether you're going to go on with him or not, you just need to know, Why did you stop communicating? What was happening? Give somebody the space to explain themselves, because you may realize that you are making judgment on very bad perception of that. Then after that, then you can get to know whether you really want to have this person moving on with you or not.
Being in a relationship and being a girl, you always have the urge to be given attention, be told you are loved or stuff like that, but...
Men, are you listening? I hope all the men in here are listening to what the ladies are. All right.
But you feel like the person isn't giving that to you. So how do you act to that?
Well, expectations. That's about expectations. And I think that sometimes you've got to bring out and voice your expectations, especially when you think that they're not being met. You've got to sit down and say, we're not spending as much time together. You don't really have to say something like, you're not paying attention, but you may use something like, we're not spending as much time. It could be that that attention is in the way of they're not listening to you. And the listening is not just words. Is that sometimes you are hurting and the other person has absolutely no clue that you are hurting because they're not paying attention. So it is okay for you to raise up those at some point and I feel like there is a disconnect. I feel like we're not paying attention to each other. Never bring it up in a way as to accuse the other person, but bring it up as a way to make them aware so that they can change that, they can build it up, they can improve on it. Don't bring it up like you want to fight about it, because sometimes they don't even know that you need that. So it's important for while you're talking, there's somebody who wrote a book on the love languages that most people love to use. Is a man called Gary Chapman, and he wrote what he called the 5 love languages, and one of them is what you're bringing up, which is affirmation. You want to hear. You want to hear that I am loved. For different people, it's different. Some people don't want to hear that. They want gifts. Some people want something else, attention, quality time or something. So it is important as you relate with the other person for them to get to know what really makes it work for you. That is just helping them to work their relationship better.
Okay, you have a friend, a very funny friend. He spots a girl. Instead of going to approach her, he uses you to approach her. And in that process, the girl gets to like you. Instead of him. So, do you keep the friendship or the relationship?
Somewhere along the line, you've got to have certain values. You've got to have certain values. And part of those values is that this person sent you. They sent you to talk to this lady. So if there is anything, I think then you need to let your body know that things are turning. You need to let them know so that they will not feel that you betrayed them. You just need to let them know this girl is paying attention over here, I don't know why. So then with that you can have an open discussion. If he's no longer interested, then probably you have his blessing to go ahead. But don't be moved by that attention, because there will always be people paying attention to you. There will always be people paying attention to you. Even at the point where you'll have grown up and you're in your 40s and your 50s, there's still people who will pay attention, and you cannot respond to everybody that pays attention to you.
You're in a relationship that both of you are not used to be ruled. You're ruling. So how can you help each other?
So you're talking about 2 strong-willed people.
Yeah.
In a relationship.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, you've got to decide for the life of the relationship. One person is going to have to bite the bullet. One person is going to have to accept that if we're going to have this relationship work, then I'm going to have to climb down from the high horse. It never is 2 people coming down at the same time. One person must want it bad enough to make it work. So the one that realizes that we're both strong-willed and it is affecting the relationship, the one who is more sober needs to come lower just to make the relationship work. Unless they don't want to make it work, because relationships are made to work, and it takes sacrifices, it takes compromises, it takes sobriety. Somebody sometimes will seem to lose, yet they know they have gained the relationship. So it is a tactical thing that sometimes you've got to look like you're the weak one, you've got to look like you're the one who's being trampled on, in a sense, not really, but you've got to sometimes take the low so that you keep the relationship. But then that does not mean that you don't still raise issues that you need to raise. It's just that you stop being very argumentative and strong-willed. And then you try to get the other person to keep on seeing your point of view. In a relationship, there are 3 points of view. There is the view of the lady, there's the view of the man, then there is the view of the relationship. That relationship has a view of itself. Like a business, it is an entity that exists. So the two people must always look at everything in terms of that relationship. All right. So this has been Ask Pastor Chris. We've been at the KIMC. I'm so glad that you had the time to watch, and I'm so appreciative of all these people who came out over here, these young people, to just share their questions with us and for the grace to just bring out the answers. And I hope that while you were watching, you've been helped right there, because one or two of you have connected to the questions that the young people have been asking over here. You've done a great job, everybody. So if you want us to come to your institution, your college, your community, your neighborhood, if you want us to come to your church, wherever you are, youth group, whatever you have, write us at lifeandstyle@standardmedia.co.ke. 22840 is our text message number. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms at KTN_Life_Style for both Twitter and Instagram, and then KTN Life and Style for Facebook. You could inbox us and let us know that you want us to come and have Ask Pastor Chris wherever you are. The hashtag is KTN Life and Style. The questions continue, the conversations continue. Keep it Life and Style. Tomorrow we are on Inspiration Thursday, but next week we come back again with Relationship Wednesday. Have a blessed day. God bless you. Till we see you again.